Hey everyone, you're here with Mark Bell at PerfectGardens.com. So Michael Allen asked me what my opinion was on a product called Drip Clean by House and Garden, and in this video, we're going to get into it.
Are you tired of getting crappy advice from your local hydroponics store? Or having to search all over forums to get advice that only takes you in different directions than solving your immediate problem? Well, join our membership for $50 a month. You get direct access to me. We'll connect on WhatsApp app. And just like this gentleman that started back in July with us, as problems arise, we are here for you.
So I think this product is an absolutely necessary product for anyone that is running a drip irrigation system. It's not the product or method I would recommend for flushing your plants though. If any of you guys haven't watched my video on the key is to unlock your nutrients, not flush, I would highly recommend to go ahead and check out that video. I'm always talking about cognitive dissonance, and Drip Clean is actually probably the best flushing agent I have ever seen on the market. I mean, if you throw that product into salt, the salt will dissolve away. And that's really what you want, right? And many times, and one of my clients just the other day, he's growing with rock wool. He's a first-time grower, and he's feeding his plants 700 parts per million every single time he feeds it, and salt is collecting the rock wool. So now the plants are beginning to die back. He gave me a call. I checked his parts per million, but then I asked him to get me the runoff, and the runoff was 1900 parts per million. All I had recommended him to do was get some yucca extract or a seaweed extract, get some trace minerals, throw it into the water, and then with the lighter parts per million, flush your plant, also pHing it, flush your plants until the runoff water is roughly around 400, 500, close to the parts per million you're feeding your plants. So you guys can kind of see how I flush my plants, right? I'm not flushing my plants. I'm working actually to unlock the minerals and turn them back into sulfated minerals. That's why I like the Drops Balance product. And I am focusing on never really having a salt buildup in my system because I am going with a microbiology system, keeping my parts per million under 1,000 through the entire grow. I am never really running into a situation where I personally would need to use a product called Drip Clean. Although anyone that might be using a hydroponic system, rock wool like I was saying, or multiple other types of products out there, you might be doing a drip irrigation DWC or a deep water culture bucket or something along those lines, and you're going to see salts build up on the tops of your growing media. A lot of times you put hydroton into the tops of the DWC bucket, and because the water soaks up from the bottom to the top, you'll see salt residue at the top of those hydrotons. Well, obviously, if for some reason water got on the top of that, those salts would dissolve and go into your hydroponic system, and before you know it, your feed system is becoming slowly probably pH imbalanced, and you're having a higher parts per million than what you had designed your system for initially. And then from that point forward, day after day, problems begin to arise. Drip irrigation, though, is a whole nother factor with this Drip Clean product. I'm telling you guys, if you're going to try to make your life simpler and feed nutrients to your plants with the drip irrigation, 100% I guarantee you're going to be using a fertilizer company at some level. Even on the NPK raws, you're going to get the salt dried back. Even Drops of Balance, you would get a small residue on the side of the glasses because of a mineral at some level being left behind. Where I find this to be a major issue is in your drip irrigation systems. Once those plugs begin to get blocked because of salt buildup, your watering starts to get uneven. And before you know it, less water is being given to some plant than other plants. And once again, it could become possibly some type of a slippery slope because you've set up your drip irrigation, you know it works right because you set it up all perfect in the beginning of your grow, and then you set your plants, you put in there, and then before you know it, one of your plants begins to droop. But instead of checking the drip irrigation system, you think it's a nitrogen deficiency, or you might think it's some type of other problem, and you start to try to troubleshoot the problem versus trying to keep it simple, silly. In the military, we call it keep it simple, stupid. I actually like being a little less aggressive now, so I call it keep it simple, silly. And because you're overcomplicating the situation, you begin to have issues within your crop. That's why I think personally I would use this product or keep it in hand, is because it would completely clear out all of your drip irrigation, which I would highly recommend you clear that system out at least every 2 weeks. Run it through your system, make a batch of like a gallon of it, whatever that looks like. Run it through your drip irrigation. Make sure all the holes stay cleared. And last but not least, I'm going to leave you with the thought around House and Garden. First off, I have seen amazing product come off the House and Garden line. Absolutely amazing product. The issue I have is kind of the cognitive dissonance reality, right? Like, why would they create a product as high quality like Drip Clean if they didn't know how salty their fertilizer was? And once again, you kind of have to think about it, right? Like, I have to take a look at their nutrient line, but I don't remember seeing a microbiology product in there. I remember seeing an enzyme product. I remember seeing a clean drip product, but I don't remember the microbiology product. And I believe if they were selling it, it wouldn't be of any benefit because the parts per million and the salts are just too high within their entire feed schedule. So when you really think about it, this company designed a product because they knew that their plants in some level were stunting. They made this product for their nutrient line because in some level their scientists realized that their products in combination together were too salty and they were probably damaging the plants. So what did the scientists do, or the company? They, instead of recommending you use less fertilizer and create healthier growing practices, they just created a product that helped you detox your root system quicker so that you could help get your plants high again. And it's really interesting when you think about it, when you kind of think of that cognitive dissonance reality, and for many other reasons, because I actually do like the shooting powder, but there's things about it that I didn't like. House and Garden has not really ever been my favorite nutrient line, just because it's a very salty product. Even if it's a higher quality nutrient line and they cost more than most nutrient lines, I don't really think the company is totally in line with my values, but they really do make an awesome drip clean product. So if you're running drip irrigation, highly recommend it. If you are using it for a flushing agent, it will work great. Although I would highly recommend going down the seaweed kelp yucca extract direction for healthier plants and more productive growing practices. Have a great grow, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe.